Hey, it's Kyle here, and as longtime viewers of this channel and other channels I'm involved in already know, I very much am proud to say I'm a nerd, and because of that, I'm into culty TV shows. And so this week I was very excited when magazine Entertainment Weekly had an article, the top 25 cult TV shows of the past 25 years. So I thought it'd be kind of interesting and fun to kind of go over this list on this channel and kind of talk about which shows I've seen and which ones I haven't. So I have the magazine right here, so I'm just going to go down the list. Number one they put on the list was Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which I completely agree, one of my favorite shows of all time. Love it. I'm actually currently watching Season 4 on DVD. Seen Season 4 several times in the past, but I'm re-watching the episodes at the moment. Love Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Great storyline, great actors, great direction. It's always great. They constantly were reinventing the show every season. You know, had a new villain. The characters were always evolving. Awesome show. Miss Buffy so much, and there's really not a show to be on TV that really does a good job exploring characters as Buffy the Vampire Slayer did in its heyday. So they had Buffy the Vampire Slayer number one on the list. I completely agree with that. Number two is one of my favorite sitcoms of all time, Arrested Development. I don't think I need to say much about Arrested Development. Very well known. I'm very excited for next year when it's going to be kind of producing some new episodes through Netflix and also Arrested Development movie. I'm very, very excited about that. But I completely agree with Arrested Development on this list. Number three is Mystery Science Theater 3000. I haven't seen all the episodes of Mystery Science 3000, but I have seen a good number. Love the show. It's very funny. This article made a good point that this kind of pioneered the way for shows today like Talk Soup, Tosh.0, kind of mocking stuff on the screen. Mystery Science Theater 3000 kind of did it first, so I did love that show. X-Files ranked number 4 on the list. I've seen some episodes of the X-Files. I never watched it religiously like some people, but there are some great episodes on there, and it's one of those shows at some point I wouldn't mind going back and through DVD or online rewatching the series. It just happened when it was on for the first time. I did stop watching it from the beginning, and I have a bad habit. If I don't start watching a TV series in Season 1, I usually don't watch the series until it goes through reruns and syndication. And of course I know X-Files has been on reruns and syndication for a long time. It's just I've never really had the chance and the time to start watching the series from the very beginning and commit to watch all the episodes. But the episodes I have seen, I really love. So can't disagree with X-Files being on the list. So you got number 5 on the list is The Wire. I've never seen The Wire. Never really known anybody that's watched it. I know through some TV shows and stuff like that people talk about The Wire. It's supposed to be great, but I've never seen it. And to me, I never really thought of The Wire being a culty-like TV show, but I'll trust Entertainment Weekly on their judgment to put it on the list. Number 6, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. This is a show I didn't start watching originally. Started watching it when they started showing it on Comedy Central, when I could start watching it in reruns. It happens to be on right when I'm getting home from work on most days. So usually that's when I turn on the TV, that's what I turn to. Love it, and I completely agree with its place on this list. Show number 7, Star Trek The New Generation. I have watched some episodes, haven't watched all of them. I do agree with this being on the list. I think it's one of those, classic sci-fi TV series. And of course, it spawns one of the great debates in science fiction, Captain Kirk or Captain Picard. And I'll stay out of that debate because I'm mainly a Star Wars fan, so I'll let the diehard Star Trek fans debate that eternal question. Episode 8, The Comeback. Never watched this one. Never really know much about it, so I can't really comment on it. Episode 9, I keep on saying that. Show number 9, My So-Called Lost. I know this is supposed to be a great TV series. Never watched it, so again, another show I can't comment on. Number 10 on the list is Lost. Lost is one of my favorite TV shows of all time. I can completely agree with this placement on the list. With all its complex plots, involvement of science, supernatural elements, I think it really very much meets the definition of a cult TV show. Lost, I think, really much deserves to be on this list. I was glad to see it made it. Show number 11, Firefly. Huge fan of Firefly. Still mad / angry / pissed off at Fox for canceling Firefly after 1 year. I would have loved to see where the show would have went if it stayed on the air for 3, 4, 5 seasons. Was very grateful that we at least got a movie out of it, Serenity, but still I would have loved a long run for the TV series, much like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Number 12 on the list is Twin Peaks. I barely remember Twin Peaks. It's a show my parents watched when I was a little kid. I believe, I was 7 or 8 when the show was on. So it's one of those things, I was in the room when it was on, but as a kid that young, and if anybody knows anything about Twin Peaks, it's a very complicated show with a lot of weird stuff going on, so I don't think I really understood what was going on. But since then, even though I've never had a chance to rewatch the show, I've heard a ton of stuff about it. Sounds like a great show, and I completely understand why Twin Peaks made this list. Number 13 is Veronica Mars. Never watched Veronica Mars. My sister is a die-hard fan of the show. Everything she's told me about it sounds like a great show. It's just one of those I've just never had the chance to watch. Number 15 is Community. Community, I watched the first episode of, or I tried to watch the first episode of, watched about 10 or 15 minutes of it, and I just did not find it funny. I know a lot of people out there absolutely love it and are die-hard fans of it. I just wasn't able to get into it. After 10 or 15 minutes, I was bored to death, and I turned it off. I've never really tried it again. So maybe I missed out on something, but Community is just not what I really enjoy. Number 16 on the list, Undeclared. Never watched it. Can't really say much about it. Don't know much about the show. Number 17, Fringe. One of my favorite shows on TV now. The last season's coming up, this upcoming TV season. Very excited to see how they end the show. Absolutely love Fringe. I have the seasons on DVD. I love rewatching them. Love listening to the commentary to figure out more stuff about the plot that I've missed. Love Fringe. I'm excited for the last season, but at the same time I'm excited it's going away, but I'm happy at the same time that at least Fox gave Fringe 5 seasons to kind of fully explore the universe of Fringe, whereas for Firefly they only gave them 1 season. So at least they gave Fringe a little bit longer. Number 18 is Wonder Chosen. I never even heard of this show before it was on the list. From the description in the Entertainment Weekly, it didn't really sound that interesting, so not sure if this one surely made the list or not, but oh well. Number 19, Supernatural. I know a lot of people watch Supernatural, and I just never had. From what I've heard from other people on YouTube, it's supposed to be a great show. I just never watched it, so I really can't comment on it. Number 20, Popular. Never had heard of Popular, so I can really say absolutely nothing about this. The first time I'd ever heard of this show was when I read the description here. Next show on the list is the exact same way. Number 21, Party Down. I'd never heard of Party Down. From the description in the magazine, it sounds interesting, but I'd never heard of it. Show number 22, Farscape. Farscape, never really watched. It happened when the show was on Sci-Fi. I did not, when it first came on, I should say, I did not have cable or satellite TV. So by the time I got it, the show was already halfway through its run, and I just never started watching it. If I know it's supposed to be a really classic science fiction TV show. Number 3, Better Off Ted. I was really happy to see this show make the list, although even though I love the show, I didn't really think of it as a cult TV show. But at the same time, I'm glad to see the show getting some acknowledgement. It was just on for 1 year. I was afraid when I was watching it, I thought this show's so quirky, so not normal, I'm afraid it's going to get canceled, and it did. But I loved Better Off Ted. I highly recommend it. If you haven't seen that show, go watch it. It's great humor, and I'm sad that show only lasted 1 year. Number 24, Archer. Never watched Archer. All the people I know involved in it, I'm sure it's a great show. It's just one of those I've just never had the time to watch. And finally, the last show on the list is Pushing Daisies. Heard a lot about Pushing Daisies, mainly because the guy that created the show is from the same area that I am, so it got a lot of local press when it first came on. So I heard a lot about it. I just never had the chance to watch it. I'm sure it's a great show, but can't say too much since I've never seen an episode. So that's the top 25 cult TV shows of all time according to Entertainment Weekly. If any of the shows I mentioned I've never seen and you have, please let me know in the comments what you think of those shows and recommend if you think I should watch them or not. And also, were there any shows that did not make this list that you really think should have been? And remember, it's from the past 25 years, so that would count out some stuff like the original Star Trek, for example. I can give you one example of one show myself I thought should have made it was Stargate Sg-1. I really thought that show should have made it. It spawned so many spin-offs. It definitely should have been on there in my humble opinion. And I just realized, when I was fixing to say that there's one show on the list I skipped. Battlestar Galactica was on the list. It was number 14. So I was fixing to say Battlestar Galactica wasn't on the list. Then I remember, wait a second, it was on the list. I just skipped over it, so I apologize for that. Battlestar Galactica might be my most favorite sci-fi TV series of all time. Definitely, in my opinion, probably the best written, best plot line of any sci-fi TV series of all time. I think it does beat Firefly, mainly because Firefly was just on the air for 1 year. Battlestar Galactica had a run of several seasons. Maybe if Firefly had the chance to be on this air for several seasons, it might have matched or surpassed Battlestar. But since it did it, I have to rank Battlestar Galactica as the best sci-fi TV series of all time, and it definitely should have made the list, and it did make the list. But like I was saying, I thought Stargate Sg-1 should have made the list. So is there any shows that you think should have made the list that was left off? Look forward to hearing your comments and feedback. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you the next time.